All right, so I thought I'd do a quick video kind of breaking down how I would go about solving this practice quiz question. And the goal here is that you can skip to whatever part maybe you're having trouble with, or you want to check your work against what I did or how I did it. You're welcome to skip through this video as much as you want to try and get to the parts that are most meaningful to you. I'm going to start out by I'll try and, maybe I'll be fancy enough putting the tags like there's just kind of like variables, constructors, and methods. So find the part that is most useful for you. I'm going to start out by, these are all the variables I need to have. It's just for me. I'm going to put this down here just so I have like a picture of kind of what things I need to have in here. One thing I do need to do is make sure that everything is private. So I'm going to make sure it's string label. Something I can't type. It seems like the camera. I want to do the price. Categories of string. And we need to do a Boolean for the expiration. And then we need to do stock. Okay, so those are all of the variables that we need to have for this. And let's look into our constructors now. We need to have 4 constructors. So that's all done. We've identified all the variables that we need to have. This end of that. And then we need to have our constructors. Just for me personally, it's going to be easier so I can actually see what the constructors are. I need to have 4 of them, so I'm just going to write public, like store product. They're all going to have kind of like roughly the same format. So I'm just going to do that once, and I'll copy it 4 times. These are all my different products. And then, okay, and the first one is where I'm going to have all the values are set based on parameters. What that means is when you make this store product object, to make it in this way, you should be identifying every single last thing. Every one of these variables should be set based on what the user tells you to, what the main code tells you to. So I'm going to make this like string L, P, string C. And again, I'm not doing like the whole label here, like string label, because then I don't have to deal with like the this dot label is equal to label. In this case, since these 2 things are different, label and L are different, I can just say down here, when I get to it, I'm going to say label to L. And that's really all I need to do. I don't really need to bother with this syntax. Syntax expiration. Only against my own rule there. I didn't want to do that. And then what do I need to do? I need to say price is equal to P, category is equal to C, has expiration equal to H, and stock is equal to S. I had this issue before where this category comes up as saying duplicate field. I'm not sure. That might be just something that's some sort of error from the code that I have down here. Okay, so I did my first constructor. And now all the other ones, I'm going to just copy and paste a lot of stuff in here. Because the only thing, and this one's basically the same thing, but we're not going to take in a category error and expiration. So I'm going to need these 2 things. I still need to set up the label, and I still need the price, and I still need the stock, but I don't need anything else. And I'm going to copy all this code into here. But I don't need to say, instead of saying category is C, they just default to saying miscellaneous, has expiration. I think they defaulted to saying it's false. Yeah, so we don't know, we're just going to say it's false. And then, all right, moving down to the next one, no category product, no category expiration or stock. So basically the same thing. It's this one. And in here, I'm going to copy this. And we're just going to say stock, I think, defaults to 0. All right, stock defaults to 0, expiration to false. And this, yeah, good. Last one. Okay, so this one has everything except for stock. So I need these 4. And I guess my point of doing this is like, hopefully you can see kind of the way that I'm saving myself some time. I'm not retyping all this stuff. I'm copying and pasting where I can. Typically copying and pasting is a bad idea, but in this case, it's kind of, there's some duplication going on here. So let's see, okay, so no errors on that so far. All right, so that's the end of, I've done the variables, I've done the constructors. Now I need to work through the methods here. And again, I'm just going to take all this stuff down here. This one. Okay, so let's see. We have public void expired. And this one's saying, so if the product has an expiration date and has expired is true. So what they're saying is like, they have a product and they're trying to mark it as being expired. Say somebody passes in expired. Some things should be able to be marked as expired, but some things shouldn't. Like if you have a roll of tape that doesn't really expire. If you have fruit, that's clearly going to expire. So what you're going to try and do in here is you're basically protecting the system. Like if someone passes in, this thing has expired, we need to check to see, okay, great, is it actually, okay, you said that's expired. but is the thing capable of being expired, or did you maybe enter in the wrong product number? You entered in tape when you meant to enter in like an orange. What we need to do in here is we need to say first, has expired, and we need to check to see if the actual product itself has an expiration date. If both those things are true, we're going to set the overall number of stock to 0. So if it was 100 stock, we're going to say they're expired, and now we have 0 of those. You'll notice in here, one thing I see a lot with students is that they want to do something like this. They'll say has expired equals true, and has expiration equals true, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong about doing that, but it is kind of redundant because this is a Boolean value, so it is literally means true. So saying like true is like, you don't really need this at all. We can delete this part of the comparison because it's just in and of itself, it is a truth value. We don't have to compare it to generate that truth value. That makes sense. So this is a Boolean. All right, anyways, we did that. Now what's up next? We need to make our, did that one. We're going to make this one. So also means to do a sale. Okay. So if there's enough, so this is very similar to like the Lyra card and the cash register thing. If there's enough, subtract the money from the stock and return true. Okay, so we can say, say probably like if quantity is less than or equal to, if they're the same, we could take all the stock, that's fine. We're going to decrease the amount that's in stock. And then otherwise, and then we need to return true. And then otherwise, else we'll just return it. Don't do anything else to the stock. Okay. And then lastly in here, we have this one for our discounted price. Okay, so it should be between 0 and 1. Yeah, and it represents a, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say in here the discount has to be, let's say I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to say it has to be greater than, it can be greater than equal. I wouldn't really, based on the wording of this, I don't think it's really clear about whether it can be 1% or, yeah, it can be 0, if it can be exactly that amount, or, yeah, I think you get a 1% discount is fine. And I think you could also have, just based on the wording of this, I'm going to say you could also have 100% discount, which would be 1. Okay, so if the discount is appropriate, we should return the discounted price, which is going to be 1 minus the discount. So if it was like a 10% discount, 1 minus, 1 minus 0.1 is going to give us 0.9. We multiply that by the original price and return that. Otherwise, if they don't give us that a value that fits between those two, we're just going to return the original price. The variance is clearly not working that well, so I'm going to say else in there. Cool, and that should be the entire answer for this one. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video there. Yeah, hope that's helpful, and yeah, good luck.